So, pretend you're this person who was really productive earlier in the month. You were doing great, reading lots of books, hitting the gym regularly, and getting your work done on time. But then something happened. Maybe you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe something unseen disturbed you in your sleep. Whatever it was, everything seems harder now. You're tired and have lost all your motivation. You can't even remember why you were being productive before. The mental clarity you had just yesterday seems to have disappeared overnight. Unfortunately, this lack of motivation is spreading to other areas of your life. You think about going to the gym but are too lazy, so you skip it. One day turns into two, and then into a week. You're also starting to buy more junk food, watch more TV, and play more video games. Not only are you not doing the things you know you should be doing, but you don't even want to. You can't remember why you were being productive in the first place. For many people, these cycles of success, followed by periods of self-destruction and failure, are common. While this issue is deep and psychological, which I'll discuss in a later video, I want to give you a practical guide on how to get out of these ruts and start being productive again. Before we dive into these strategies, I want to mention a couple of things. First, this video isn't a replacement for therapy if you have clinical depression. I'm not a doctor, just a guy sharing what works for me. Second, even though this video is about getting out of a rut quickly, that's relative. You usually won't get out of a rut overnight. Strategy number 1 is to use the do something principle. This principle is the catalyst for action. If you don't have the motivation to do something, you need something to spark some action, to get the momentum going. Most people think you need to be motivated to take action, and motivation comes from inspiration. For example, you might be inspired by a Matt D'Avella video you watched on Reddit, but the do something principle says that inspiration, motivation, and action aren't a linear sequence. It's an endless loop, and you can start anywhere. It's more efficient to start with action and let that become the inspiration and motivation for further action. You take action without motivation all the time. You don't need an epiphany to take a shower. It's just something you do. These monotonous actions are the ones you should use as momentum for further action. If you're waiting for inspiration, go brush your teeth. That little constructive action will give you momentum for more. If you have to write a giant essay, don't think about writing the whole thing. Just open the document and write whatever comes to mind for 1 minute. Once you start writing, you'll likely want to keep going because you've started. That's the essence of the do something principle. Strategy number 2 is to reward yourself for small wins. Even though you might cringe at rewarding yourself for something simple like taking a shower, especially if you know you're capable of more, it's psychologically necessary. Your brain has two sides, the primal part responsible for motivation and emotion, and the logical part. If your logical side uses the do something principle to convince your primal side to take action, don't be too strict. It's a negotiation with yourself. Don't be a slave driver to your primal side, or it will rebel and not want to do anything your logical side wants. Use your higher judgment to guide your primal side gently. If you're too lazy to do anything but sit around, use the do something principle to brush your teeth, take a shower, put on nice clothes, and clean your kitchen. If you start to get tired and agitated, take a break. Reward yourself for doing something constructive after days of indulging in dopamine. Just relax and have a good time. Strategy number 3 is about progressive overload, similar to lifting weights and getting stronger. Instead of yo-yoing between intense action and self-destruction, gradually build a more productive lifestyle. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to others. For example, develop a game plan over 7 days to get out of a rut. On day 1, if you convince yourself to take any constructive action, that's enough. Each day, try to do a little more. Gradually, both sides of your brain will agree, and you'll start to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, becoming the person you were earlier in the month. Managing expectations, being patient, and maintaining communication between the logical and primal sides of your brain are crucial for long-term success. Eventually, you'll sustainably live the life you've always wanted. If you like this video, hit like so the algorithm will show it to others who might need it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you get out of ruts. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.